The physical affair, I feel like I could come out of that and stay in a relationship with you and be like, you know what? Like, okay, let's talk about this. Let's work through this. But emotionally, like if you were telling somebody else
that I love them.
Yes. Like I would be like, then why are we together? Then what are we doing with this?
Hi, I'm Dave Tina.
And I'm Angie Tina.
Welcome to the 10-Year Marriage Podcast.
On this podcast, we answer the question, what if your marriage came with a 10-year contract?
How would you show up if there was a deadline in your relationship? What would your life look like in the future? And how would you recommit every day?
Come with us on this journey as we navigate as partners, entrepreneurs, and parents in this big life we've created.
So today's episode is going to be about cheating. And in the beginning, when we started this podcast, right off the bat, we had the people that know us the most getting triggered about topics and things. And through this journey, I mean, we're on the 25th episode. I've learned a couple of things. And one of them is something I've always known in kind of like theory, and it happens with me. I fall for it too. But it's the thing that triggers you the most is really a mirror. It's the thing that you're projecting onto somebody else, but you need to like look within. I don't know how it came up. We were actually driving to the airport. Somehow cheating came up. Do you know what we were talking about? I forgot.
I have no idea what we were talking about.
That opened up this conversation of like, you know, we know a lot of people.
Yeah. We know a lot of people that have cheated on a lot of people too.
Have been cheated on.
Yes.
Right? And, you know, I always say I've never been cheated on, which I know of. Maybe the women were just too scared to admit. I personally believe that in most relationships, I've never been cheated on because I never gave women the opportunity to cheat on me, right? So we've talked about that. You have been cheated on and found out about it and whatnot, right?
I have, yeah. I mean, it was my first actual real relationship, and it was something that everybody knew but me. I found out, and it crushed me. Not only the cheating part, like the person that cheated on me and the whole situation that went down. I think what crushed me and made it even worse is that everybody knew, and I felt betrayed by not just the person that cheated, but everybody around me.
So I have some contrarian thoughts about this. I threw them into ChatGPT, and here were like the three big ones that I came up with right off the bat. And you just kind of said one of them. One, the cheater cheats on themselves first.
Correct. Yep.
The betrayed partner is not always innocent. And sometimes cheating is a good thing. It could be the catalyst. I still believe there's better ways to do it, but there's a way to blow it up on the way out and make it where, you know. So the cheater cheats on themselves first, right? It's not just a betrayal of a partner, it's a betrayal of self. Integrity is not situational. When someone cheats, they split from their own truth long before they split from the relationship. What need were they unwilling to own? What emotion did they suppress? What conversation did they avoid that led them there? I'm very delicate with this because I'm not outing anybody. Mm-hmm. This is past, not current, because everyone's going to try to start like deducing, right? Friends of mine or past friends have been cheaters. Mm-hmm. And I was very judgmental in my own brain. Because can a friend be really great friend? If they're willing to cheat on their partner, aren't they willing to cheat on you, right?
100%. And not only that, but that distrust and disloyalty has to extend over in other parts of their life, right? And obviously it's a cheating on themselves in a way, but if that's where your values are and you're willing to go down that path, then like what else are you willing to do? We talk about it even with business.
So yes and. Mm-hmm. Because this, I kind of set you up because I've evolved. Mm-hmm. Because we always looking at cheating as cheating on someone sexually on your partner. Mm-hmm. But this is an integrity game. And I believe when people are cheating, they're out of integrity. It doesn't matter, but we can really stretch this. If I'm out of shape right now, like I'm 20 pounds overweight right now, right? Mm-hmm. Am I cheating on myself?
Yeah. I mean, that's going deep, right?
Is it though? Right? Like,
yeah.
And so I believe that, yes, it is a red fucking flag because if someone's willing to risk their marriage, then you gotta watch. But I know some really great people who are cheating, especially one in particular. I believe in this situation, the self-worth of this individual and the desire to prove themselves as attractive and desirable because they felt they weren't. Yeah. It was such a bottomless pit of validation need
And
that they
that's
serve
a great
themselves through
word.
the cheating.
Yeah. And I think it can come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, right? It could be an identity crisis. It could be a insecurity that they're just feeling about themselves. They could not feel desired as well. Like there's so many layers to this on why people cheat. And the question I have for you is, in the past, you've known cheaters, right? You've had people in your life that have. Are they repeat offenders? Like, is this a common thing? Or is it something like you said? Is this a part of their life where they're like, hey, I'm going through something, this is what I'm dealing with, and then they cheat? Like, is a cheater always a cheater? Is a cheater just like going through this part of their life and they need this validation?
I think a cheater is always a cheater until they heal.
That's fair.
Right? Like,
Heal something deeper.
something deeper, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, why would somebody cheat and stay in a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're either betraying themselves, they're betraying the relationship, they're betraying themselves potentially that they're not willing to have a conversation, which there's some truth that's not being unearthed.
Right.
Like, I can frame things where you'd be like, of course that person cheated. They should be cheating, right? Like, the husband who the wife hasn't looked at him for 30 years and they've had sex once in the last 5 years. If I just frame it like that, you're like, of course he's going to cheat with his secretary or someone he's met online or something that, or his, someone at the gym or something like that. But then I could be like, well, the wife hasn't felt seen or heard in so many years. Like,
it goes deep.
You can start painting some elaborate pictures that justifies everything.
Totally.
Really, the actual cheating is the unwillingness to confront the truth.
On both sides.
Yes, cheating on yourself first when you cheat, because you're seeking a solution outside of where you should actually be focusing.
Right.
Rather than it's an avoidance thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to meet a need in a different way.
Yep.
Like, I should probably write in here the what people say the reasons they cheat, but I could easily say it's probably not because of sexual needs.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. And how many, like, what's the ratio of cheating versus emotional cheating and physical cheating?
First thing that pops up, unmet emotional needs.
Yep.
Right? Lack of physical intimacy or connection.
Yep.
Novelty and variety addiction. Now we're just going deep. Ego, insecurity, external validation, avoidance of conflict or truth, revenge or punishment, opportunity plus lack of boundaries. That's like super rich people, like, or famous. Addiction, spiritual misalignment, and then bonus, the unspoken reason, because I didn't have the courage to end it before I broke it. Right? So that
goes into the third.
Exactly. But we kind of hit on a lot of these. So it's always worth pausing and tying it into the purpose of this podcast in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
How do you believe this aligns? I mean, the 10-year marriage and having these conversations about the contract moving forward. I mean,
well, it aligns so much. Like, in that case where you made that example, right, where the wife hasn't felt seen or heard and hasn't like initiated sex or had sex with her husband in a long time. So then he ventures out. And I'm saying this is like a very specific example. The 10-year marriage is about having those uncomfortable conversations and seeing and being like voicing and naming like, hey, I don't feel desired by you. Like, what is going on here? Because obviously something's off, and really being attuned to the frequency that your relationship is giving off. Because if you're not, and you just kind of fly by the day and you go through and you create busy work, and eventually one person is going to start to kind of drift off on the other side. Right. And then it's like, whose fault is it? Because nobody ever even initiated the conversation.
So that goes into the second part.
Mm-hmm.
So I put signs that people are, the red flags, right?
Yep.
They start getting in shape, upgrading their looks fast, setting guardedness with their phone, emotionally distance themselves, increased criticism of you. They always busy or tired. They pick fights for no reason, unusual sexual behavior, too much or too little. They start comparing you to others. They become overly defensive or secretive. Your intuition screams and you dismiss it, right? So that's the second part. The second part is, what part does the one that was cheated on play? What accountability? And so here it says, cheating doesn't happen in a vacuum. Sometimes one partner checks out emotionally, physically, or spiritually, leaving a void. This isn't about blame. It's about shared responsibility for the ecosystem of the relationship. What unspoken resentment, avoidance, or neglect festered before the act. And I made a comment where if you're cheated on, you shouldn't be surprised.
Yes. And
in most cases.
In a lot of cases, yes.
Okay.
And I think that it comes with one of the big ones is boundaries, setting boundaries. Like if you are in a relationship, and let's say you're in a relationship with somebody that's emotionally unavailable in the very beginning, and you're constantly like just trying to make it work, and you're just like holding on to something that really isn't there and that you've never really felt full commitment, like eventually what do you expect that person's going to do? Right? So it's like, and then it's having boundaries and being like, listen, like maybe that person is very flirtatious with people and like you've just let that person get away with it for a long time. And this could be male or female. And it's like, and you never having a boundary and say, hey, that makes me uncomfortable. I don't feel good when you make me feel like that. And if that doesn't change, then we're going to have to figure something out. I mean, it goes to every layer, right? But it's about really naming it and being like, if you don't feel desired by that person, people, like you said, you keep going back to people's needs. People's needs are going to have to get met somehow, right? And if that is what happens, then it's like, take a deeper dive and take a look on why that even showed up in the first place.
You know, it's interesting. I was thinking like, if one person has a glow up, some kind of growth, or it starts looking great, like they mentioned it, that glow up can potentially lead either person to cheat for different reasons.
Yeah, because the person that's getting left behind needs validation.
Yes.
Right? And the person that's like, I'm doing something, and they're like, hey, like, you know, they're getting other opportunities and stuff sent their way. So I agree that it could go both ways. And in a lot of cases, I think that the more insecure person is the one that cheats.
Yes, because the secure person most likely would be like, you're either gonna meet me there or I'm moving on. Right. Or give the other person the opportunity to grow with them.
Exactly.
Right. Because instead
of burning it to the ground in that way, which leads you back to one of those other things. It's like
the third one, sometimes cheating is the catalyst.
Right.
But I wanna finish out the second one, the betrayed partner is not always innocent. Mm-hmm. I know of a man that caught his wife cheating with his best friend. And it took him years, but he finally took accountability that he was not showing up in the marriage and that he pushed her away. Now, to me, it doesn't forgive pretty much a man's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Right?
Either one of those two parties. Yeah. The wife or the best friend.
Exactly. But I think there's some awareness there. Like, well, if I was doing what I needed to do, I don't think this situation would have been as likely to happen.
Not only that, but if you would have been showing up in your relationship to your highest potential, then you wouldn't even fucking care if the other person cheated on you. So you'd be like, all right, 100%. Go for it. You fucking lost, you know?
So two people playing the game at not their highest level, but pretty fucking high levels.
Yeah.
I mean, what are the chances they're cheating on each other?
Yeah.
It's almost, even if their highest levels are pushing them apart, they could show up and be like, all right, well, let's see if there's something left here. Or let's let this die at the end of this contract, or let's let the contract die now, right?
Yep. And if you can fulfill that need, it just goes back to the desire conversation. If you can feel that need to be desired by yourself and not have it come from an external validation of someone else, I feel like you're less likely to cheat, and you're also less likely to be hurt by a cheater.
Yeah.
And I go back to it, like I think we said this in the jealousy conversation, like when I've talked to you about it, like I've had these moments of jealousy, and then I was like, wait a minute, like if Dave were to cheat, he would be cheating on himself and our children and our marriage and all of these things. And like if he was willing
everything
to put
in my life that I stand for, yeah.
Exactly. And if he was willing to put that all on the line, then obviously there's something much, much deeper that needs to be looked at. And
well, that's the jealousy conversation we had on another podcast. The way I finally healed some of those wounds was like, well, hell, then she wasn't the woman that I thought. Exactly. And man, she just exposed who she is. And like,
and thank God they did.
You got it. Like,
because why would I want to waste another fucking decade, another 10 years for somebody that didn't even value our relationship?
1,000%. Which then leads into sometimes cheating is the catalyst. Again, another situation when they cheated on their significant other and the whole thing got blown up. I looked at it like, okay, that relationship was never going to go anywhere. They're already a couple of kids deep. Like, there's a positive about this. There could be a positive about this, right? Like, you're so trapped. You don't feel like you can get out. So you just lay down a tremendous, I don't even know.
You burn that boat.
And you let it just explode everything. Like, you put yourself in a position you can't get yourself.
And where you can get caught. Right? Like, you're almost intentionally wanting to get
sabotaging
caught
the whole thing.
because you're like, I want out of this relationship so bad. I've tried other ways. I don't know how else to do it. So I'm going to sabotage it to the highest degree, and I'm going to just go for it.
So then here it says, the break reveals the truth that's been buried. Sometimes couples rebuild stronger. Others get wake-up calls they need. Here's an interesting thing, though. Not to jump, but 50% of relationships stay together after cheating.
I believe it.
Wild. So in this case, like it says, infidelity isn't the end; it's the truth breaking through the illusion, right? And then others get the wake up call they needed to leave, like I said, and finally, leave.
Or maybe it is that couple that was never taught and never learned how to have a deep conversation, and that's what opened up that portal into like, okay, this is obviously something we are forced to talk about, and maybe it led into something greater.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's healing on both sides that is required for that couple to stay together. It's not just the person that got their heart broken, that got cheated on, that has to do the healing. It's just as much or even more the person that did the cheating that has to go through that process.
So it just got me thinking of something interesting, right? Like, I think one of the most, let's say, primal reasons for cheating would be for newness and variety.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe.
One of the reasons why the 10-year marriage or just the whole commitment of growth is so important is that you get to change so often and the other person's changing so often that you kind of get to like make love and have sex
to a new version of
with
that
a
person.
new version.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah,
that's sexy. Like, holy shit, And so it's one of the reasons why people could not be stagnant. Because if you're the same person, living the same life, having the same sexual positions, right? Like, I mean, we just heard recently that someone said that the whole time I was married, we just did a missionary. And I was like, imagine that, right? Not exploring. Like, you got like that. Like, there's growth in every little micro category of a relationship. All right, so then let's play this out, because this is when it opens up a whole new part, right? Who cheats more? Men still cheat more. Women.
It actually, I read statistics. It said men cheat more, but women under 30 are cheating at or higher rates than men
women,
right now.
Men over 50 are cheating more as well. Totally, right? What constitutes cheating?
Well, I personally think that an emotional affair would be more heartbreaking for me. If you were to have an emotional affair, I believe I would be more heartbroken than a physical affair.
So if I had a foursome with 3 women blowing me at the same time and versus an emotional affair with someone.
How are 4 people going to blow you at the same time?
I'm the one, and then 3 women.
Just taking turns?
I mean, not that I've thought of it.
Yeah, right. Okay. Is that our next episode? Fantasies? My God.
No, it's not high on the fantasy list. It's just the first thing that popped into my head.
Yeah, of course.
Like, it is interesting what's cheating and what's not, especially.
Well,
we were talking about some religions, pornography cheating. You have AR and VR. Like, are you putting on
fucking weird? Yeah.
Goggles? Like, there's that great Black Mirror episode where they're having that's more of emotional.
Yep.
Right. And then robots are going to become a thing now. Right.
Yeah.
Like, and so it's just an interesting.
I mean, here's the reason I said that about the emotional and the physical cheating is like, let's just say that were to happen. The physical affair, I feel like I could come out of that and stay in a relationship with you and be like, you know what? Like, okay, let's talk about this. Let's work through this. There's a healing aspect that needs to happen. We need to do some work here as a couple. But emotionally, like if you were telling somebody else
that I love them.
Yes. Like I would be like, then why are we together? Then what are we doing with this? You know what I mean? And if that wasn't reciprocated on the other side, then I would be like, I'm wasting my time in this relationship because I don't think a person deserves to be in a relationship where it is one person just absolutely adores the other person and the other person is just well, it's nice that they're around.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, right? Like, to me, they're so interconnected.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I was single, I was not like a one-night stand guy.
Yeah.
There was always like something that emotionally I had to attach to. I rarely had transactional sex, which is makes sense now that I'm able to look back. It wasn't my thing. I felt like I was broken because I had all of these guy friends who were just on these conquests.
Yeah.
And I realized I look back, I had a higher standard for myself. I wanted some connection, right? So the thought like of them being separate, like if you're letting someone like go down on you or have sex with you, enter you in any which way, like to me, there's such emotion tied to it anyway. You might as well be telling you love them.
Yeah, but
right?
like if I'm thinking more along
like
the lines of like not
a
an ongoing thing, because I feel like that's both, right? It's a physical and an emotional relationship. But if I'm saying like if somebody did it like a one night stand, like if you don't even know this person's story, right? Or really know them, and it was just something that they were like, you're at a club, you're drinking, something happened, like that's what I'm saying. I could get over that more than I could get over a long-term emotional affair where you're like,
I got that. You're right.
Traveling with this person and I don't fucking know about it, or you have this secret life with somebody.
We've seen that where a man was going on vacation with his family and his girlfriend was over at the next hotel.
That is so fucked up.
I agree.
Well, how about you answer the question? If it was a physical or emotional, what's worse? I know if you had to separate the two, what would be worse?
I don't know. I think my ego is not strong enough, and maybe this is a weakness. Like, or maybe I put integrity as such a high thing that I don't think, maybe I have you at such a high standard that I don't think I can get over it. My thing would be like, how could you not collide with me first before you got to that point, right? Because that's the way I would do it. Right? Like, I don't feel that, I was fucked up and I was at a strip club and I slipped into her by accident is a fucking reality.
Yeah. Well, is a strip club cheating? I mean, I haven't been in men's rooms where they're paying for lap dances. Like, is a girl grinding on you cheating?
I haven't been to a strip club since
I'm not saying you specifically.
I think if a girl is, in the private room and grinding on you till you, dry humping you till you nut, that's pretty much cheating.
Yeah, I agree.
And it sucks too, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that would be like, fuck Dave, man, like bro code.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'd be like, yeah, you do you, baby. And if your wife's cool with it and you got an arrangement that works for you,
right? And
great.
We're not. And
I am judging for me.
Yeah.
And so when I'm judging and coming out, and you want a disclaimer, here's a disclaimer. These are my fucking standards for me.
Yeah.
This is what works for me.
Yeah.
And yes, because they work for me and I hold them for my standards, I'm obviously not that I'm not in agreement. Like, I am very like, you do you, baby.
Yeah.
But if you came to me and said, I'm having some problems in my marriage, and then you said, I'm also at the strip club.
Yeah.
I'd be like, well, maybe you should fucking look at this.
Yeah, totally.
Right? And so, but if you're not having problems in your marriage and you got a great marriage and you got an understanding, I mean,
totally.
Some people swing and some women and men want to, they're fucking million people.
That's actually a fun thing for them. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
If that's what works for you. Now,
right.
In my own anecdotal world, I rarely see these long-term relationships work out if you're letting, your wife get blown out by 50 men. But hey, who the fuck am I to say, right? Right? But I just know what works for me. And I know that it would take extenuating circumstances at the highest degree, tons of conversations. Like, it'd be very hard for me to get over it.
Mm-hmm.
It just would.
Yeah. Depending
upon who, what, when, where, how.
Well, I think that has a lot to do with it. With most relationships, it's like, who was it, right? Like I got cheated on. When I was cheated on, it was a close friend of mine. And I was like, what the hell? You know what I mean? If it was just some random at a different school or something, I'd be like, oh, okay, like whatever. But like the fact that it was somebody that knew me intimately as a friend, I was like, how fucking dare you? You know what I mean?
And what's crazy is there's a whole degradation part where like then you get more sexually aroused and you almost want to sleep with that person because it's like
it's supposed to be off limits.
Yes. And then the person who cheated on, maybe, you know, like you want to prove and reconquer. It's like your mind's a fucked up thing and game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, is monogamy even the way it should be? Right? And
that's where the 10-year marriage comes in. Because I don't think my truest of self, right, believes that monogamy isn't actually a thing, right? And I'm like, really? You're going to be with one person your whole life? I mean, I obviously had experience before we met. And so I've like been there, done that. I'm good. That's why it's so important to recommit over and over again, right? It's because like if I felt trapped or like I was controlled or like I couldn't leave a relationship and I didn't feel like I had that autonomy, like I would feel trapped. And I think you would too. The fact that you like choose each other, you get to instead of have to, is the thing that makes it so different. And is the thing that can make a relationship be like just a normal relationship go to an outstanding relationship, because you're choosing over and over consciously, not just going through the motions or it's on a piece of paper or that's how it's always been done, or we live somewhere where that's just what you do. You just stay married for 70 years.
Yeah.
And you stop talking after you've been married for 25. You know what I mean? Like that to me doesn't work.
You made me think of something. So here's a wild idea.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you get to the end of the contract or you're ready to kill the contract,
mm-hmm.
right? Rather than divorce.
Yep.
And you're like, here's some issues in our relationship. And you know what? We can't figure it out. But it's almost like, I'm going to do a real estate thing here.
Oh, I already know where you're going with this and I love it. Go ahead.
Right. So like in real estate, when you take a listing, it's usually for 6 months or for a year. It's a contract. And normally the way it works is like the seller always thinks their house is worth more than it is. Even realtors do this. And the realtor is trying to say, no, well, it's not. And so there's this like tug of war, and the listing agent doesn't really want to tell the truth to the seller because they want to actually sell their house. This is the same shit in relationships, right? Mm-hmm. It's really a relationship that no one's telling the fucking truth. Mm-hmm. You're not telling the truth. The house is not selling. The seller is getting frustrated. The agent is coming up with, oh, we need new pictures, we need this. But the truth is, the first 99 reasons why it's not selling, and probably the 100th, is because it's priced too high. And so what a realtor will do, or what I will tell the realtor, is if you think you're losing the listing and the contract is up, why don't you just tell them the truth? You got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Right? Which you should have been doing the entire time.
Yeah.
Right? That's a great thing. What if, and you know where I'm going with this, you're at the end of this contract and you're like, well, fuck it. It's over anyway. Maybe this is what separation is, mm-hmm. right? I'm going to go see what it's like. I know of two people who they bought another house. They separated they live in two different houses. Maybe you bang out a couple of people. Maybe it doesn't hurt if you're like, well, fuck, we're done. Mm-hmm. This is done. So, you know what I mean? And so each person kind of starts playing this like, and you see...
Oh, see, I was going complete opposite.
I'm not just saying sex. I'm just saying like you got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe and I want to hear what you're going. Before you get to that point, you have the absolute truth conversation.
Yeah.
The hard one. Like
the inevitable is going to happen anyways. You're either going to grow from it or you're going to let it die.
The one that may hurt. Like we just asked ChatGPT these really tough questions, these prompts that were incredible. Like, what am I missing?
Yeah, exactly.
And it gutted us to hear the truth. Regardless, maybe that conversation needs to happen at the end of the 10-year marriage. And then, if the gutted truth is the separation, right? Because everything's on the fucking table at this point. It's pretty much try something different or die. What were you going to say, though? I'm curious.
No, I was just going to say, I thought you were talking about like when you go to renew a contract, like how if it's all on the table, you can decide what type of relationship intimately and emotionally you want to be in with that person, because maybe there is a part of you that's like, hey, like, and that's what I think could be such a huge benefit of the 10-year marriage, right? Like if somebody's getting divorced, or they're just like, listen, I'm not renewing this contract with this person, but they have children or they have Maybe they're really good friends, or maybe they have really great sex, but they're terrible at being married. Whatever it is, like, what could you create as like part of that contract to be like, here's how we're going to stay connected, but here's how we're also going to do our own thing, right?
Like, grading a student as a teacher, right? Like excellent, satisfactory, needs improvement, right? Because you could look at the end of this contract from multiple different ways. Like, you know what? I love this relationship, but if I'm being honest with myself, here are the parts that I would like to see improved. You got to be willing to hold the space. Or like, shit, we're at an impasse here.
Yep.
Like, what? This needs to change. Or it's like, this is obvious, we're not being renewed. But I always say, if you've loved this person enough to walk down an aisle or to buy a fucking $20,000 ring, or to, even more important, have kids, do financial commitments with, there was something there that's worth at least fighting for on some level. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. It's the cheating topic. It goes full circle right in.
And the contract could be such a valuable tool for somebody that has been in a cheating relationship. On like, okay, this next contract of ours, this next 5, maybe you don't do a 10-year marriage contract because now you're like, let's see how we heal in the next 3 years, right? And maybe it's like, here's, if it was you and I and you cheated, I'd be like, listen, let's give it 3 years. Let's see how much healing we could do. But these are the things that I require us to work on. And if you're not willing to meet me there, then I'm not interested. But if you're willing to meet me there, why?
Because I think in that situation, like, listen, the closest we came to divorce was when I had like a freak out in Thailand. Right. And if anything, I cheated on you on that trip by not fulfilling the trip that you wanted to do. So it was a betrayal. You were so upset and so angry that I started with like, I will do whatever it takes to fix this. If I stayed in that space, our relationship would have become so unbalanced that it would have died. I hit a point where
I'm not saying that the person becomes like a servant to the person.
You got to be careful. You get unbalanced. You get what I'm saying? If one person, I got to a point where I was like, well, fuck that. She's got her own shit.
I was talking more about the like, listen, if it even gets to that point, like I would, for us to move forward with this relationship at all, like it's a requirement for me. Like if you feel the need or you feel the desire to go elsewhere and to like venture off, just have the conversation with me so we don't have to go through this whole fucking mess.
But so listen, I know we're veering off a little bit, but this is timely and in the moment. If you're having a 3-year plan or a 5-year plan when you're renewing, you got to be careful that what you want is not coming out as the other person's want because of lack of imagination or because you want to make the other person happy. Because there's one person may have a clearer vision, the other person doesn't have a clear vision, so they will just jump on. And then ultimately we'll wake up in a couple of years and be like, shit, this is somebody else's
This is what I want.
version.
Isn't what I wanted, yeah.
Exactly, right? And so, I mean, that happens a little bit. And then you got to have the courage to be able to give it and take it. Because I could see this going fucking south quickly where you're like, it's one thing to be like, I want my life to be like, maybe this is the way to go about it. I want my life to look like this. This is the way I foresee this. And this is how I see the person who is with me in this picture. And when both people do, that's why I always say, if you're going to do this, you need to first do the work inside and go ask those questions I ask every person I coach. Who are you? What do you want? And what are you willing to let go of?
Yep.
Right? Because it's going to be very hard to have this conversation if you don't know who you are.
Right.
And you don't know what you want.
Agreed. And like to your point with even the Thailand thing, like it's not fair to the person. Like if that person cheated and let's just say they really do want to be in that relationship and they want to heal from it and they want to grow and they want to like see it through. It's not fair to always go back there, right? Every argument you have, now you're bringing up that like at some point, if you're going to get somewhere in your relationship as a couple, you're going to have to heal from that, both sides. Like you can't just keep bringing up old shit.
Or at least accept it.
Exactly.
Because you're going to
accept it or move on. Because at some point, like, yes, did they make a mistake? They did it. They chose something that didn't serve them in the relationship. But at what point are you going to let that go instead of constantly bringing it up to the surface and never fully letting them let that go? Because we are human and we do make mistakes. Bless you.
Yeah, because then
that's not
the
fair
affronted
either.
party is basically holding them, both people, hostage for the rest of their relationship.
And then they're just going to want to go cheat, right? Like if every single time somebody brought up something that I did wrong, I'd be like, well, fuck you. Then I'm going to fucking go do it. If you're just always thinking I'm doing that.
It is interesting though that cheating is like the main thing that is unforgivable in a lot of relationships. For me, a lack of respect is almost as worse. So you say what's emotional? Like if I had a partner that was like constantly like being a hater in front of the people that I love and not respecting me, I think I'd be out of that relationship quicker.
Yeah, I agree.
Which cheating is a lack of respect anyway, so it's the same bullshit, right?
Exactly.
Lack of respect for yourself.
We should get a throuple on here, have a conversation with the throuple, because I feel like that's so interesting. Because it's like
every time we're around
who's
these
having
people
sex
that love
up
to
who?
swing or whatever, I'm like, don't invite me into the fucking jacuzzi.
Okay. Well, I doubt. I'm just saying, like, I was just like Aubrey Marcus, I think, is in a throuple now, right? And I find it so interesting because, like, to me, I'm not even judging as like there's something wrong with that. I'm so curious to be like, wait a minute, how does this work? Like, is this person as emotionally involved as this other person, or is it kind of like these two and then this one comes in?
Oh, look at Dan
like,
Bilzerian with his situation.
Well, yeah, he's not a throuple. He's just
I understand, but
a single dude.
He'll even say how women didn't take him seriously and whatever.
Yeah.
It's all about healing. And that's why it's so interesting with Aubrey Marcus, and some people have come out against him. Like, he is all about healing. And it's like, what in there isn't healed?
Right.
Right? And so I joke, I have 3 daughters.
Mm-hmm.
If last night, Lola jumped in Gigi's bed and started hugging me because she's like, I feel like I haven't spent any time with you lately.
Mm-hmm.
Gigi was literally just telling me to get away from her. She's hot. We were cuddling because she didn't want to be alone in her bed. The minute me and Lola started hugging, Gigi lost her mind. And so if you take the sex part out of it, just trying to keep 4 women happy in my life
Oh, poor baby.
is exhausting.
I feel so bad for you.
And I'm not joking, like separate now. If I had 4 wives, I would, as much as I love sex and orgasming, I don't even know if after like 3 or 4 months of this, like, oh shit, I guess I gotta go bang that one out tonight. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm not even joking. Like, I think these are things that look a lot better on paper than actually in reality.
Yeah.
There are certain themes and patterns that continuously come up in these conversations. And I believe the number one pattern or theme is that this is an inside game.
100%.
First. And that any relationship.
It always is.
It always is.
It always goes back to that.
The relationship with yourself is going to determine, in most scenarios, your relationship with the outside world.
And it's going to reflect on everything.
Without a doubt. And it will change because you're a 4-dimensional, some people say 5-dimensional human being. And depending upon where you're at in these areas of your life at any given time, at any given moment, will influence how you're showing up.
Mm-hmm.
That's one human. Then the other human's going through the same experience at the same time. So you have these 2 4-dimensional people dealing with different things in their life, highs and lows, and then it comes together.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of different outcomes.
Yeah.
But if you start with like, I am accountable and responsible for my words and actions, it's a good place to start.
Absolutely. And I think the other good place to start is instead of just going into an act of something like that, or, you know, start dabbling on an online dating site or something like that, just have the conversation with yourself and have it with your spouse or your significant other, because you're going to avoid a lot of pain, a lot of anguish, all of the bad things that come with it if you just like address it up front, right? Like, you could really solve some things.
So I think a good way to wrap this and tie this in the bow is to to say this. Before you cheat, really think about, who are you actually cheating on? And then proceed.